Hey guys, and welcome to Quinia's Budget Craft. This is episode 2 of the Hero Kids compatible terrain builds. We're going to make the basement. Just like in the last video, we're going to cut that EPS to 8x12. Now the factory edge here does look straight, but if you put your square on it, it's not. So just go ahead and trim it off right there and make that your first square edge. Cut the whole thing down to 8x12. And just like before, we'll use the Super 77 to attach these foams together. We don't need any walls on this one, so rather than cut down the ready board to 7.5 by 11.5, I just sprayed the Super 77 on an oversized sheet and stuck the EPS straight to it, then trimmed off the excess. Again, using the metal square as a guide to make sure I didn't cut into my other sheet. We'll just make the floor of this one cobblestone, using a roller from Rumple's Labs again. And now I should point out that I did file the edges off of this thing right on the very edge because I'm doing several runs with it and I didn't want to have the ends of it cut into it and make strange lines. I also didn't give the glue a long enough time to dry before I took the roller to it, so it ended up smearing some of it off. That's okay, just trim that. Then take yourself another piece of this ready board here and run the roller down right through the middle of it. You're going to need some walls inside the basement, that's what this is for. Go ahead and seal everything up with Mod Podge and black. Don't forget to do both sides of that wall. And now barrels. This is a storage cellar, so there's a whole bunch of barrels down here. I did forget to put one in the bottom corner, but that's okay because it gives you as the GM some freedom to put a treasure pile or a hidden enemy or whatever you want. Again, here's the tag for the guy I got the barrels from. Okay, so on this part, I literally thought to myself, this idea is either genius or incredibly stupid. Turned out it worked pretty well. So go ahead and get some kind of disposable cup, mix brown paint and water in there. Then just throw all your barrels in and stir it around. I ended up taping a second cup to the top and shaking it. It's a barrel martini. Then using a gloved hand so I didn't get paint all over the place, I just fished them out of there and made sure that it was spread evenly on the tops, occasionally wiping my hand with a paper towel. Set them all out to dry. And while those are drying, go ahead and put the Mod Podge in black on the rest of the white bits of foam. That way it's sealed all over. Okay, so instead of metallic paint and a small brush, which I'm not good at doing, I just used a silver Sharpie, and it worked really well. Just scribble it on, same as you would mark up anything else. It's really simple, just very time consuming because of how many barrels you've got. Now with that cobblestone floor, we'll cover the whole thing in pavement. Go back in with some pewter. Kind of splotchy on purpose. And don't forget about your wall segments. For your wall segments, you'll need 2 1-inch pieces, 2 2-inch pieces, and 1 3-inch piece, all 1 inch tall. So just go ahead and cut those out. Same thing on those. Pavement and then pewter. Make sure you do both sides as well as the top and the one side that's going to be exposed. Then do some dry brushing with granite gray. It's just a lighter gray is all. It does look kind of streaky and kind of bad, but that'll sort itself out once you put the barrels down and blackwash everything. It's supposed to be splotchy. Again, you don't have to use the colors I used. Feel free to add like some dirt or hay or whatever you think would make sense. And just like with the ground floor, you're going to have to mark and cut in the grid. This time though, go ahead and widen it the full width of your ballpoint pen or the roller part of the stylus. Now just go ahead and glue those wall pieces down. And then lay out all your barrels. Keeping in mind I did forget one in that corner. I also forgot a segment of wall and had to go back and cut another little piece. Then glue all the barrels down. You really don't need a ton of glue here, just a little dab will do ya, and then stick it down. If they do end up breaking off because of a rowdy player, that's okay, just hot glue it back down. And then we need that hole for the back corner. Pretty much the same idea as the stairs, except this time we don't need to take out a whole section, so just stab it repeatedly until you get something that looks like a jagged hole and then scoop it out. and fill with Mod Podge and black to seal up that exposed foam. Okay, I'm not sure why, but it does look like on the drawing that the posts in the basement are thicker than the post in the tavern itself, so we're going to use a thicker dowel here. Same procedure as episode 1, just figure out your length you want the dowel to be and then add a little bit to stick into the foam. You are going to have to cut this with a saw. Same thing on the stairs as before. Wide popsicle sticks, measured at 2 inches, and then cut it off, leaving the rounded section. Now normally I would say throw away all your scraps, but these middle pieces are 2 inches and perfectly cut too, so you might as well keep those for something else later. And because these turned out to be slightly different color from each other, I decided to offset the colors in the stack. I thought it might look kind of cool. Same idea, make a mark, keep your fingers out of the way, and poke a hole. Space them out, same as episode 1. Put a little bit of glue on the back to keep them together. You will see the glue on this one, so you probably should smash it smooth. My staircase ended up being a little bit bigger than it needed to be to fit in the hole, so I just trimmed it up with the clippers and then went over it with some sandpaper like this, just swiping it in a circular motion. And now paint all the wood pieces, same as you did in episode 1. If you want to try to get some better wood grain on these stairs, you can take your X-Acto knife and just cut some wood grain into it. Okay, just consult the map to figure out where your posts are going to go, and then drill a small hole through the foam. Keep in mind these things are pretty big. And then cut a segment out of the wall where the posts go in between the walls. You can use a post piece there to try and gently wiggle it into the hole until it starts to break the foam and widen it enough. You don't want to oversize the hole though. Then just like before, put some hot glue on it and stick it in there. With these walls, you can bend them over just a hair, put some glue on the edge, and then stick it to the post. Then put all of your posts in. For the stairs, go ahead and put some glue along the bottommost step. Then just mash it into place and hold it for a second. And like me, if you forgot that wall segment, make sure you paint the little white edges there. All that's left is some black wash. Try to make sure you get it in all the lines, but don't overspray the barrels. And then once it's dry, this is how it looks. Now the stairs don't exactly match up perfectly or anything, but I don't think most people would ever notice that, especially since you're not actually going to stack these like this. And that is it for the basement. Pretty quick, pretty simple. Where you go after the basement requires some tiles, so I guess that's what we'll make next. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. Make sure to hit the bell to get a notification when the next video comes out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.